about baggage is that the more baggage we have and the longer that we've had it, sometimes the harder it is to know that we've been carrying it for so long or that it's even there, because when we have baggage and we're bringing it into all of our interactions, we start to see this pattern, right? I date someone, this happens, we break up. I date someone else, this happens, we break up. That's an example. Relationships are really good mirrors for that, right? So are you experiencing the same pattern over and over again in your relationships, in your business, in your career, in your life? And you're like, oh, I'm really sad because this keeps happening to me. Are you in a place of victim? Are you in a place of not being able to trust people in your life and the same story just keeps playing out? Okay, so if this is happening to you, you have baggage, you have patterns, you have deep-rooted belief systems in your unconscious mind that are making it real in the now. And what happens when we have our unconscious mind and all this baggage that we're carrying with us, we lose a lot of energy. Oh man, when I finally let go of some of the baggage I was holding on to for like 20 years, all of a sudden I was like, whoa, where'd all this energy come from? How come I'm so damn happy? So those are some results of letting go of your baggage. So something to look forward to for sure. We'll get there closer to the end of this conversation, but stay for the whole thing. It's all important. Okay, so when we carry this baggage with us, we're constantly projecting our fears. We're constantly projecting what we think is going to happen in all of our interactions. And the thing is, whatever we decide is real, we create, we make it real in the now. There's science that proves it. Well, of course, we're all energy. This isn't new. And it's not woo-woo stuff either. It's legit. It's real. Everything is energy. So if you have your baggage with you and it's stinky, it's 20 years old, it's a story, it's a thing that happened to you, and you don't like how it makes you feel, it's time to drop it. It's time to let that shit go, right? One of the ways that I find is really powerful is to, first of all, to identify what baggage do you have, because this question has come up quite a bit. I've got a lot of messages on Instagram from my last post talking a little bit about baggages. Well, how do I know what my baggage is? How do I know, how it's affecting me? And so how to know is to ask yourself and kind of do like a little map. What I would say is get like a big piece of paper, maybe have some wine with you or your favorite treat or your favorite drink with you, because it's like kind of this storyboard that you're going to put together, and it's kind of fun, but it's also kind of like, oh, this is a little uncomfortable. But anyways, get creative, bring colors, have fun with it. And so get this big piece of paper, and I want you to start writing down things that have happened to you in your life. Things that you loved, things that are amazing, put like 20 hearts around, and the things that you're like, oh, I really don't like that happened to me. This is the first time I was like heartbroken. This is the first time I believed I wasn't good enough. This was the first time I stopped trusting men. This is the first time I thought that women couldn't make an impact, couldn't make X amount of dollars, whatever it is. I want you to take this big piece of paper and I want you to like write down what's happened to you in your life. Like maybe 5 or 10 things that have happened to you that when you think of them, you get a visceral response. So you feel it in your body and it's like, whoa, this is something that I really remember because it made an impact. It made an imprint on you and on your unconscious mind. And when something makes an imprint, good or bad, however you want to feel into it, it is a part of your story. It's something that you carry around with you. So good things, great feelings are awesome. This time, the first time I felt like I really was loved or really special or really heard or expressed, those are amazing, right? Like keep those, add those up, feel those. But I also want you to feel into the things that don't feel good, like the first time something happened to you, right? That, didn't feel good. The first time you picked up a belief system that there wasn't enough money to go around, that there wasn't enough food, I don't know, whatever it is for you, or that you would never have enough, or you could never make enough money, or you could never speak your truth. I know for me, like some belief systems that came up for me was not being able to fully express myself as a woman, or not being able to make a certain amount of money, or not trusting men. And there were a lot of belief systems that were there, and they were unconscious, but it was baggage that I was carrying with me. So what happened every time I was in interactions with people, the same stories would just come up over and over and over again. I'm like, well, this is just proving this right. This is just proving this right. This is just proving this right. And so what that did was it blocked me from really being in the present moment, really connecting with the people in front of me, and also creating a new possibility for myself. So when you have baggage, when you're carrying it around and you're not aware of your unconscious thoughts, your unconscious belief systems, they're in the present. And when they're in the present and they don't resonate with your soul, they don't set your soul on fire, they don't make you excited and happy and feel good, like you can go out there and do anything that you want and be anything that you want, then it's baggage, and you need to cut that weight off and let it go. So I want you to write down some moments in your life, the last, maybe 5-10 moments that really made an impression on you. And then I want you to write down what, from that moment, from that time and place, what was the belief system that you took on from that? And then I want you to trickle into the now, so maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 years later, and I want you to identify how has that theme, how has that story been playing out since then? And that is where you're going to notice your patterns. And this is the opportunity where you get to change your story. So I remember being in Bali a few years ago. I've been there a few times in the last years because I love it. I'm going to live there. But I don't live there yet. It's on the goals. It's going to happen. Manifesting. Anyways, I remember being on a rock in Bali. And there was something that I deeply needed to let go of because I knew it was a pattern. I knew it was baggage, and it just didn't make me feel good, and it just kept coming up as a trigger. So triggers, so where are you being triggered? This is where baggage comes up, yeah? This is where belief systems come up. This is where the yucky stuff comes up and controls you and prevents you from being the person that you're here to be and connecting and doing the work, right? So I was on this rock in Bali, and I was saying, I choose to let this go, what it was, because it no longer serves me. And I was like saying this over and over and over again into the ocean. I was speaking to the ocean, and probably people that walked by, I don't remember, it's a blur. But I kept saying it over, over and over again. And because I kept saying it over and over again, all of a sudden I felt my body let it go. Because I declared that I was ready to let it go. And because I declared it and I wanted it and I decided, I was able to let that go. So there's lots of ways of releasing baggage. First, you need to identify what it is, and then you need to get honest with yourself and say, okay, because I decided this was real 10 years ago or 20 years ago, how am I proving, how am I manipulating situations in the now to make it real? And this is where you have to get really honest with yourself, and it's uncomfortable, but how could I have maybe manipulated that situation in order for that story to be true? Or what was I not present to because that was a filter? And being aware of that will allow you to see what you're missing and where you're not showing up in the present moment and where this baggage is coming up. It's like when you hear someone talk, I don't know if you've ever been in a conversation with someone and you're speaking and you are saying one thing, but they're responding to something different that you didn't even say. That's their baggage, that's their filters. It's the same kind of thing. So when have you showed up one way without giving the situation, the people, and your surroundings an opportunity to really show up and really play things out? And that's where you can identify some of your baggage. Another way to release baggage is just to say, okay, this story doesn't serve me anymore. So I'm going to create a new story. So what is the belief system that I want to believe in? So my old belief system years ago was that women can't make an impact, or women can't make a certain amount of money every year. And so what that was doing is it was capping me at a certain amount of income every year. And so I was like, yeah, this doesn't work for me anymore. I don't like it. And so I chose a new story and I wrote it down and I put it in my phone as a little alarm that would come up every few hours during the day that I'm a woman with massive work to do in the world and I am highly compensated. And that just kept coming up over and over and over again. And what that does is it starts to program your unconscious mind to work for you rather than against you. So there's lots of different tools and processes. That's one that really works for me. You can read a quote or have a saying that you read every morning and decide that, yes, I'm aligned, this is what I want to create, and then just keep refreshing it and focusing on it. That's another way. I provide a lot of different tools and processes for my clients that can actually change a lot of belief systems that are not congruent with how they want to feel in about half an hour, and that's some of the processes that I take my clients through. But those ones are good too. Another one is you can wear an elastic band around your wrist, and every time you have a thought that is unsupportive, you can take your elastic band and snap it back. And so what that does is it sends a signal to the brain that that thought, the negative thought, the baggage, whatever you want to call it, is harmful, right? Because it is harmful. It may not be harmful, like doesn't feel like pain in your body when you have that thought, but it's preventing you from living your fullest life. So it is painful. It should feel like pain, right? So you snap it back, it signals to the brain it's painful. And over time, when that thought starts to come up, your body is going to want to respond differently to it and isn't going to go to that default thought anymore. So you snap it back. After you've had that thought that's like, I don't trust, I can't, whatever that is for you. And then out loud, if you're not around people, or if you feel confident just being bold and shouting things out, which if you do, kudos to you, say something that is supportive. So I can't make X amount of dollars a year. That thought comes up, or I can't do it, but she can, or whatever it is for you. Okay, or maybe in a relationship, I can't trust this, or this person's only with me for this, or whatever it is. Then in that moment, once you snap it back, you say something, you affirm it like it's real. I can trust. I can create and generate any kind of income that I decide that I want, whatever it is for you. Affirm what you want and do the elastic band for what you don't want. And it's highly effective. So we have thought patterns, right? We have thought patterns in our brain. And so these default thought patterns that sometimes we're not even aware of, our baggage, comes up really strong, right? So when something happens and we're triggered, it's the first thought that comes up and we're like, oh, I can't trust this person, I can't do this, whatever it is. And so naturally, every time something happens, we go to these default settings. So by snapping the elastic band, we are saying, ouch, that kind of hurts. And then we're creating a new positive thought that is supportive of how we want to feel and what we want to create. And then over time, this default setting no longer shows up and you have the supportive thoughts that are constantly moving you forward. So if you are ready to let go of your baggage once and for all and show up fully in the now and create a life and business that you love and make the kind of impact that you're here to make, go ahead and start drawing out and writing down a big board of all of the things that really left an impression on you in the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And you'll start to see patterns, and then those are the areas that are your blind spots and also the baggage that you're carrying with you everywhere you go. And as you start to do some reprogramming, maybe putting some stuff in your phone, an affirmation, doing the elastic band, and maybe saying I choose to let this go, or whatever that process is for you, or if you choose to work with a coach and go deeper and get quicker results, then you will be releasing your baggage and you will have ultimate freedom in all areas of your life. And it's such a powerful thing to be able to do that. So I hope that this video has served you and that you had fun in this uncomfortable conversation. Sometimes it is a little uncomfortable being like, oh, I have baggage and carrying this shit around with me. And it's not always fun. But here's the thing. We have to do this work in order to be more free, in order to make more of an impact, in order to have more fun in our life, because that's what it's all about. It's about being out there, having fun, making an impact, and really creating from a place of abundance and love. And when we have baggage that's in our way and holding us back, it keeps us small. It keeps us from connecting. It keeps us from doing the things that we know that we're here to do. So I hope that you loved this video. If you have, please go ahead and share it on social media. Share it with someone that you think that can get value from it. Maybe a friend of yours that you're like, oh, they may have some baggage. That's okay, right? You're a good friend. A thing that I say that I really appreciate about my friends is, there's a quote that I say, friends don't let friends play small. Good friends don't let friends play small. So if you can give your friend a gift, is help them, support them, hold them accountable for change, and also empower others by first empowering yourself to make the changes that you need to make. And that's really where empowerment and inspiration comes from. It's being the change first and then offering that into other people. So have yourself a beautiful day, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be sending out one of these video blogs every week on things to do with purpose, life, transformation, and making an impact, and being badass, and just being you, being the most express version of you. And if you'd like to connect, you can contact me. My website is below, and what I do is I help people become radically aligned with their soul's purpose, physically, mentally, and emotionally, so that you can make the kind of impact that you are here to make. Sending you so much love. Mwah!